So today we are going to create a desktop wallpaper background using Canva. Canva is user-friendly and it's free. You do need to have an account, however. I have an account set up already, but if you don't have one, you will need to sign up with an email address before you can create any designs. So the first thing that we are going to do is click on Create a Design. And you'll see desktop wallpaper right here. That's what we want. And it'll come up with a lot of options for you. These are beautiful options and it's fun to play around with those, but today we are going to do a specific desktop wallpaper background for kids to have fun with some online learning. The photo that we are going to use comes from the website pixabay.com. So these are free photos on here. If you go to pixabay.com and in the search bar, just type in Post-it notes. Scroll down a little bit here, and this is the image that we're going to use. If you click on this image, and then you can click on Free Download, download it, and just save that on your computer. That's the image that we'll be using in our background today. So back to Canva. The first thing that we're going to do once we have that image saved on our computer is to upload it to Canva. So right here you can see this little uploads icon. Click on that and then click on upload an image or video. And when you click on that, it will bring up your folders and you navigate to wherever you saved that image and upload it. Right here it will this is the one that I had already done, but it'll just upload. Each new image that you upload will be displayed at the top of the feed here. So this is the image that I have already uploaded. This is the one that we are going to use today. Now, before we put that image on our design page here, we are going to add a background image. So in this left side menu, you see this photos icon. We're going to click on photos. And then in the search bar, you can type colored pencils. And you'll see a lot of colored pencil images. This one right here is the one that I used. Click on the colored pencil image and it will appear on your background in that blank design area. Now I want this image to cover the entire size of the background that we're working with. So I'm going to click on the corner and drag it out. Any of these, the corners or the sides where you see these little white bars and circles, you can click and drag to make your image whatever size you like. Now I am going to want this yellow colored pencil to be right down in the lower left corner. So I'm going to do it a little bit more, kind of like that. Okay. We have our background image. This is going to be the background of our wallpaper. The next thing we're going to do is click on this Elements button. If you click on this, you have a whole lot of options to work with. And what we're looking for is this grid. So when you see the grids, click on See All, and we'll give you a lot of options. Now, I want this option right here that has 3 columns. So if I click on this one, it's going to overlay that right over the top of my background image. And I'm going to take the cursor and drag that up, probably a little bit, maybe a little bit more than halfway. I'll do it like that. Now what that does is allow me to place images inside each of these frames. So now I have my grid here. I'm going to go back to my uploads, click on uploads, and click my image that I want to have on there. And there it is. It appears right in the middle of your screen here. If you click on that image and drag it, you'll see it appears inside the grid. Now I want to have one of these Post-it notes showing inside each of these square grids. So if I select that and click crop, I'm just going to drag that to make it a little bit bigger. You can move it around, and we'll see how I like that. I might make it, so if you click it, click crop, there we go, move it down a tiny bit. Okay, so we're done with that one. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Click the image, drag it until it appears inside the grid, and then I'm going to crop, move it around until I get the post-it note right where I want it. Maybe a little bigger. We'll see how that is. Pretty good. And we're going to do that 1 more time for this final image. And I think I'll put a different color up there. We'll go with 3 different colors for this. Move it up to where I want it. Okay. Oh, maybe a tiny bit bigger on that one. Make it, I'm being perfectionistic here. Make it fit exactly where I want it. All right, so now we have our 3 post-it notes, and they are, if you click off to the side, you can see that's what it is looking like so far. You have your post-it notes right over top that background image. Now we are going to go to the shapes that we want to add, because I'm going to add a couple of rectangle boxes down here. So under Elements, over on the side here, this side menu, click on Elements. And now we don't want grids anymore. We're looking for shapes. We're going to click on this square shape right here. So we could have added some more grids down here and just put more post-its, but I wanted something a little bit visually different on the image, so I'm going to use a couple of rectangles. So the same thing with these shapes. You can drag them around and resize them. I'm going to make this a rectangle down here. Move it over here and make it a little bit smaller. Now, I want to change the default color is this gray color for all of the shapes. I am going to change that color. So if you click up here on this little square, I can change the color. Now, I think I'm going to just make this a standard light gray on my background. But I still don't want to see just that light gray color. I want to be able to see the background image a little bit. So we're going to click on this transparency button. And I'm going to make that, we'll say 75. Okay, now if you click on that rectangle and click duplicate, it'll give you another one, and we'll just move that right into position here. You can see those little purple lines are helping you line it up and get everything aligned nicely. You can be a little more specific with aligning things in different ways, but for these purposes, I'm just going to use those lines. There we go. All right, so now we have 2 additional boxes here. And next we are going to make, let's see, we're going to look for lines. So if you scroll, you're still in the Elements. You can see Elements is still selected over here. You have lots of options. We are going to go down to Lines. Here it is. And click See All. And we're going to scroll down a little bit further until we see this right here. So it's like kind of a white paintbrush line. Click on that. It's going to put it in your design here, right? I'm going to take the corners and drag that so it gets a little bit smaller. And you can see again, those lines are helping you align it in the center. I'm just putting it kind of the top just to mimic the tape on the post-it notes up here. So now we'll duplicate that, click duplicate, and just click on the selected one and drag it over. There we go, kind of in the center. Now I want to change the colors of these. So make sure it's selected and then click up here to the little color square I am going to make, let's see, I will make this one red. So this red color I had selected to match pretty closely the red that's up here. And this one I will make this sort of teal green kind of color. Okay. Now, everything's looking pretty good here. We need to add some text. So over here, again in this menu, you are going to click on text. And we don't need anything really big here. We just want small bits of text to go on these labels. So I'm going to say add a little bit of body text. It'll show up right here. I'm going to click in that, select, there we go. And I'm going to have my caps lock on because I want these to be all caps. Got an extra T there. Get rid of that. Okay, now I'm going to drag this text box right up here. And you can't really see that black text on the dark blue, so I'm going to change the color of the text by using this little text color button right here. Text. And this one, let's see, maybe I'll make this one kind of the brown beigey color. And I think I want to use a different font because that one's pretty thin and I just want something a little different. So I'm going to use, let's do this, Montserrat Classic. That is maybe still a little small. Change it to 42. So here's your font size right here. We'll use that. There we go. Center. There. Okay, so there's math. Now I'm going to click on the text box to select it. And we are going to duplicate that, bring it over here, and we're going to make one labeled reading. So if your text is too large for the box, you can see right here, you can just make your box bigger. And this one, let's make this one that sort of teal color. So if you're wondering what the colors are that I'm using to kind of match these post-it notes, the teal color, if you hover over your the color right here, you can see what it is. It's 48B39C. And then the brown color is D8C39C. The gray I used is just their standard light gray, D9, D9, D9. And the red is FF4A49. So if you wanted to use these exact colors, you can type in the search bar up here and type those numbers in, numbers and letter combinations, and you will get the exact color that I'm using here. So for this one, I'm going to do the teal color, and we're going to duplicate that again, bring it over here, and let's make this one science, and we'll make that one red. Okay, 2 more duplications. We'll drag this one down here. That's hard to see, so let's just change the color right now. And we will make this label watch. And one more duplication. Boy, that's hard to read too. Create. Let's change that color to red. And I'm going to just align that. You can see with those lines now it's lined up with the watch label. Okay, we have all of our labels, all of our images, all of our post-its. That is going to be the image that we will use on our desktop. So the next thing that we need to do is to download our image and save it on our computer. So up in the upper right hand corner here, you can see download. If you click on that, You can choose a file type here. So for this, you would either use the PNG file type or the JPEG file type. I'm just going to stick with this PNG. Click download, and then it'll come up with a little box preparing your design. It's going to prepare everything, and then it is going to ask you where you would like to save that image on your computer. And that's it. Now that entire image is saved onto your computer, ready for you to work with.
Okay, now that we have our image created and saved, we're going to minimize our browser here. And on your desktop, right click, you'll get a menu that looks like this. Click Personalize. And you'll see here a background. Now you want this to say picture. And right here you're going to browse and then choose the image that you just saved. So I already have that saved here. I'm going to click on this. And you'll see it immediately changes your desktop background to the image that you just created. So that was the design portion. Now we are going to organize the desktop and make it super kid-friendly and add links and shortcuts to places that your kid likes to go to, or maybe websites that they're using at school and are able to log into at home. So we are going to first navigate to a website that we want to use. So I just have this one open. It's watchknowlearn.org. So this has obviously thousands of videos, educational videos in all kinds of topics. So there are two easy ways that you can create a shortcut to put on your desktop. You can click, well, if we're going to do that, we need to go over here to this little square button. Click on that so that your browser isn't taking up the entire window and you can see the desktop behind it. So if you click right here so that your URL is selected, and then if you just click on it and drag it over and let it go on the desktop, that will create a shortcut right there. So I'm going to right click and delete that just for a minute to show one other option you can use. If you click on these three dots, you'll get a menu. Click on More Tools, and then over here, Create Shortcut. Now you can do this two ways. If you click Create right now, that will put a shortcut on your desktop the same way as dragging it across there. If you click Open as Window and select that box, that means when your child clicks on the shortcut from the desktop, they will open an entirely new browser window instead of adding tabs the way you can see here. So either way is fine. You just decide if you want them to have multiple tabs open or if each time you want them to open something as a separate window. So for my kids, I prefer to just have it open as a new tab and they can navigate. They're old enough to navigate around within that. So if you click Create, and then we minimize that, you can see over here, it's created a shortcut. I'm going to drag that down here. I'm going to put it in this watch box because this website is videos to watch. So if you would like to rename this, you can right click here and click rename. And I usually just have it be a little bit shorter name. That way it's maybe a little bit easier for kids to navigate. So that's it. That is all you need to do to put shortcuts on your desktop. You can create as many as you want here and put them in the categories. That way your kids are able to easily find websites that they like to go visit, fun educational resources. You don't have to worry about them trying to navigate your bookmarks or type things into a search bar and end up maybe with some results that you don't want them finding. So this makes it fun for them. Even my 7-year-old is able to click around, find the things that she likes. And if you would like step-by-step instructions with images on how to do this, you can visit my website, mustlovelists.com, and get a tutorial for those who prefer to read their instructions, or if you just want some other specific links to suggested learning resources, you can visit there as well. Thanks for watching my video today.